Folks, welcome back to So Bad It's Good. I teased this on yesterday's show, but we had somebody fantastic offer to be boots on the ground at the Jesse Solomon live show in New York City, a live performance of all of his musical catalog thus far. You know him, you love him, one of, if not my favorite TikTok follow on TikTok, but he's on all social medias. This guy is a rising star in my eyes, I think in a lot of people's eyes. He goes by Josh the Roni Stan. Josh Banfield, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I am so honored to be back and talking about this once-in-a-lifetime moment that I had at the Jesse Solomon concert.
Okay, well, first off, I do want to say you weren't just in New York for that because you got to go to a TikTok creators conference where they had Olandria there, right?
Yes, and I had no idea that Olandria was going to be present. It was just a thing that I got invited to by TikTok, and I was like, sure, I'll go. I was hanging out with some other creators that I know, and then, all of a sudden, I got a text from one of them being like, Olandria's by the DJ booth, and of course, you sprint to the DJ booth when you hear that. So that was really crazy. So I met Olandria and Jesse Solomon within about 2 hours of each other.
I mean, both equally great in different ways. Now, I just for the audience, Love Island USA, you rode really hard for Olandria and Nick Olandria. What did you say to her? And was she aware of you? Because I know she's on TikTok.
No, she was not. And it's kind of funny.
That's actually kind of good. I like that she's not there, like, checking out videos of herself.
Yes, no, definitely. So it's kind of funny because I loved Olandria the whole season. There was one episode where I disagreed with her, and it's our job to talk about the episode. So naturally, I stated my opinion about that one episode. It was the one where she was calling out Huda for the stuff with Chris. I don't even really remember the details of it, but it was the one time that I was like mildly critical of something that Olandria did on the show. Just happened to be my most viral video from the whole season of Love Island USA. So people didn't see all the other videos where I literally loved Olandria. She was my favorite the whole season. And there is a section of her fan base that actually does not like me and thinks that I was like overly critical of her. And when it gets to that point, you just can't do anything about it. I loved Olandria. She's amazing. And it was incredible to meet her. I honestly blacked out while I met her. Like, I don't really know what I said to her, but I was like piecing it together from the video. Yeah. I said something about her outfit and her makeup because she literally looked airbrushed in real life. Like, I don't know how she's a real person.
She's just stunning, right?
Yeah.
Somebody told me, I said this, she's going to be a small part on Euphoria season 3.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Unless that was just like a rumor that was given to me, but I was like, oh my God, I'm here for it. I also want to say it's so interesting when you or I are critical of somebody. It's sometimes I feel like easier with me because I'm like, at best, 30,000 people will hear it. But sometimes with TikTok, it'll get spread around where it could be like upwards of 1 million people. And that can be a lot of negativity to take on when you're just trying to talk honestly about how you feel. And I really try to explain that to the audience is like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. This is just my take. And people have such wildly different takes. Even if you watch Dancing with the Stars this season, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But does that ever get in your head where you're like, I've got to be careful what I say on the next video?
Honestly, no, because I think I do, not to like pat myself on the back, but I think I do a really good job of being diplomatic towards everybody. And the thing that I always say is like, if I dislike somebody, like, you'll know, and it's really only one person, and it's the lady from Utah on Vanderpump Rules. Like, I'm very open about the fact that I strongly dislike her. Not that I know her as a person, but
guys,
from the media,
I think he's talking about blah blah. He's talking about Lala, which, by the way, Lala has not really given us anything lately to really root for her about. And oh God, sorry, I don't want to get off on Lala right now, but I'm in complete agreement. And I just, listen, she might shock the hell out of all of us with The Valley season 3, but like, it's doubtful just by her online behavior. So sometimes I almost feel like with all reality stars, social media is a key component, but sometimes I just wish they would be required not to do social media leading up to a season and during a season, because you're making snap judgments about somebody before you see the creative process or what the producers are trying to show us.
Yeah, no, I think with a lot of them, it's like the kind of, if you heard from them less, you would be more excited to see them.
Out of sight, out of mind. And I really do believe that. It's like, I feel like on Orange County, which I don't even know if you're watching, but Katie Janela, they did the biggest favor to her ever by icing her out, because you just grow stronger and you're not there on TV saying something stupid to anger the fan base. So then we miss you in a way.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I am so glad that you brought that up because I was actually thinking when I was realizing I was going to talk to you that the last time I was here was at the beginning of the OC season. And we had a conversation where you were talking about how bad it is. And I, at that point, was still defending it, being like, no, it's good. You were right. I hate to say it. It's a bad season, but it
It
had
is
potential at
horrible.
that time,
It is.
but it didn't realize that
Oh, Josh,
potential.
wait till you see the finale. The finale, I think, is even, you think that it's going to be an amazing episode just to close it out, and it's not. I couldn't tell if I was just tired watching it, so I got to rewatch it, but it is dreadfully bad. And I don't know why we can't just say that sometimes, because I'm not saying that these ladies are just horrible, but I don't think they work well together. Now, the other reason you were in New York was to see Jesse Solomon. So take us through the night. Like, what was the attendance like? What was the whole vibe going into this thing?
Yes. So I didn't know, I had no idea what to expect. I was like, is this going to be 15 people in a room? I was kind of expecting a small room and it would be like Phoebe on Friends, like singing on like a
Yeah.
little elevated
Yeah.
surface.
Did he sing Smelly Cat last night?
I wish. No, he didn't. It was actually a pretty nice place, like in Williamsburg. It was full. Like the room couldn't have really been more full than it was. I'm really bad at like gauging numbers of people in a space, but the room was full. I couldn't move. Actually, a lot of people were pushing past me, and I was like almost about to get violent at one moment. So like people were there. People
You
were
were going
trying
to
to
get
get to the
violent at
front.
one moment because of the crowd surge at
They
Jesse Solomon?
I think because so Kyle, Carl, and Amanda were all there, and I think people were like trying to get to them, even though I actually don't know that you could. I think they were like in their own little area, but
Yeah.
I couldn't fully tell. I think people were trying to get to them, and I was like kind of in the back towards where you would go. So people just kept pushing me, and I can't deal with that.
Wait,
Also,
was Lindsay Hubbard there?
no, I only saw Kyle, Carl, Amanda, and West. I think was like out of the state, or else I would imagine he would have been there. But yeah, it was in Williamsburg. It was at a pretty nice place. It was a lot of people there. The door situation was, and this is the thing that
So are we talking 100? We talking 200? What would you gauge?
I would guess 100.
100. Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
But the door situation was really bad. Like I don't know what was going on, but you could not enter. Like we were standing there for so long. And this is the thing, is like I was in a really prime position to like hate this entire experience because I had been at the TikTok thing all day. I just met somebody who's way cooler than Jesse Solomon, no offense. And like I was like, I think I'm gonna hate this. And then the door situation is a hot mess. And yeah, so I was expecting to have a really miserable experience, but I actually didn't, and that is what we will get to. But I actually really thought it was fun.
Okay, so Josh posted one clip so far. He's going to post more on his TikTok, but I saw the one clip before I went to bed last night, and my honest reaction, this is not even reading the comments, my honest reaction was that his voice sounded pretty good in the clip, you guys. My other honest reaction was he doesn't really have any sort of stage presence left yet, like, so it's the antithesis of Tom Sandoval, where Tom Sandoval is trying to do too much stage presence. He's kind of, from this small clip I saw, a little bit meandering on stage, where I will say, to my ears, was hitting the notes, where I was like, this sounds like something my mom would like to listen to. This, and I know the classic, the standard that he was singing. Like, what was the song you clipped it? Like, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he sounded like he was hitting the notes, and it didn't sound embarrassing. The stage presence was the thing that I had the issue with in that tiny clip. So take us through, like, how many songs, how long was the performance, and was it the same sort of stage presence throughout?
He sang for 50 minutes. So it started right on time at 10:30 and went till 11:20. I would say, yeah, I mean, the stage presence definitely was lacking, but I think it was more so, I feel like there was one song where he like showed more personality, or I guess actually with his original songs, maybe he did have a little bit more personality in them. But yeah, I think sometimes when you go to a thing like this, you all are like kind of having collective psychosis and being like, oh, it's not that bad. And I don't really know if that's what was happening here, but the feeling,
psychosis.
Yeah, but the feeling in the room was like, oh, this is like better than we all thought it was going to be. Like the crowd was into it, honestly.
Yeah.
So he did, I want to say, probably like 8 to 10 songs. I think there were He did What Would Jesse Solomon Do, and then that one that he dropped recently. And then I want to say he did like 4 other original songs that we have not heard yet, including this like emotional ballad that he introduced as he said it's the next song he thinks he's going to drop in January. And he introduced it as like, this is a song about if you've ever had like a friend or a coworker who you just like can't deny that you have feelings for. And it was like a really emotional
Oh
song and
no,
very
is it
much
about
gave,
Sierra?
that's what everybody in the crowd thought. I
But
can't say
Sierra
that
wasn't there.
definitively. Sierra was not there.
Wait, so wait,
So,
when you say everybody in the crowd thought, where everybody was everybody going Sierra, Sierra,
well,
like it was.
yes, because at the when he was first introducing it, people were like, "Oh my god, is this going to be a song about Lexi?" At least the people in my around me, not the like the person I was with, but the people around us. And I like heard that, and then as the song goes, I don't remember the details of it, but the like main chorus part of the song was like being your friend is overrated or something like that, like wanting it to be more. And it seemingly was about Sierra, or at least maybe it wasn't about Sierra, but I feel like he wanted us
Yeah.
to think it was about Sierra with the
Well,
way that he introduced it.
okay, so was there any sort of, do you think this was a little bit of a tease for the new season of Summerhouse in a
I would think
sense?
so, especially
Like
because he said
guerrilla
he would.
marketing, underground marketing for the season?
Yeah, well, he said he was thinking about releasing it in January, which would be not that long from when Summerhouse usually premieres. So yeah, I had that thought as well. I'm like, are we going to see Jesse Solomon be really embarrassing this season and confess his feelings for Sierra? I would not be
Oh,
surprised.
we will, of course. Was there any Bravo cameras there by chance?
I don't think so. I didn't. I there. No, not. I
Well,
think I
because
would
my
have
thought, Josh, was
noticed.
that they're filming that spinoff in the city, and if Kyle and Amanda were and Carl, even though he's not been announced, I thought maybe this would be like an episode of In the City.
I thought so too, but I mean, unless it was like one camera and it was out of the way, but I didn't take note of any cameras.
Was there any awkward onstage banter besides the Sierra moment where it was like, "Hey, did you guys watch my toes getting sucked this season?" Like, was there any awkward banter?
Yes, he didn't talk that much about like the show,
Yeah,
honestly. He talked a little, there was one song that he introduced as like, this is a song about, like when he said he wrote it when he was like working his finance job and he was like feeling very unfulfilled. And he's like, but now I'm doing things that I'm like passionate about. And I was like,
yeah,
does he mean music or reality TV? I wasn't sure. The time that he tried to be funny, one of the times, and it was the only time that he, I think, lost the crowd slightly. Like there was kind of a like funny reaction. Was he said something, and I will say I will give him credit. The band was like good, and I think that also contributed to me feeling like it was like better than I expected because I didn't
yeah.
know if there was going to be a band. I thought it might just be him with a mic, but there was a band, and they like seemed to know what they were doing. And he said like, this is we like which he was, I'm sure, joking, but he was like, we scoured the globe for the best talent. And then he says, these aren't like NYU kids, and we're in Williamsburg with a bunch of like 25, 30-year olds. So the crowd like didn't love that. I was like, I don't know that this is the audience to make that joke, but it was fine. No, he
Was
didn't talk that
So he
much on
wasn't
stage
like,
though.
"Hey, everybody, vote for Cuomo next week," or he's like, "What's going on in the world today, folks?" Like there was nothing like,
There
"Let's
wasn't
take a
too
look at the world."
much.
Okay.
No, thank God.
So then I saw a picture with you and Jesse Solomon. So how does that picture come to be, Josh? Were you like, this was a magical night of group psychosis, I need to get a picture with Jesse Solomon?
When I was deciding to go, so there were 2 ticket tiers. It was like $20 for the general admission, or it was like $85, I think, for the VIP. And I was like, if
You
I
rolling
am
the blips?
going, yeah, exactly. If I'm going to I don't go to Williamsburg. If I'm going there, if I'm going out of my house at all, really, I can spend the $85 because not that I cared really to meet
But it's good
him.
content too.
It is. And also, like, yeah, if in general, I feel like if I'm going to go to something, I'm going to get the VIP, unless it's like obscene, obviously. But yeah, YOLO. So
I would,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, so many times through my quote unquote Bravo career, I will say some of the funnest memories I have, even by myself, is going to these. Like I went to Andy's star on the Walk of Fame. Like I got to see him and John Mayer hug each other. I got to see, and yes, there was a part of me that was like, "What the hell are you doing with your life, Ryan?" But then there was a part of me, just the fan part of me, that was so excited to see it in person.
yeah. And you got a What Would Jesse Solomon Do bracelet. Like it was a little thing. So yeah, there was a
What would
VIP
Jesse Solomon
after.
do, bracelet?
Yeah, it's like a little. It's actually not
Not
as
a what
goofy as
would
I thought
Jesus
it would
do, and what
be.
would Jesse Solomon bracelet? Great.
Yeah, of
Go ahead.
course.
So
It
you get to
was.
meet him, and what do you say?
So I was so tired, and I like think I might have been rude on accident. And Jesse Solomon, if you're hearing this, it wasn't on purpose. But I first, well, he kept asking me like how I am, and I was like, "What? Like, do I seem unwell?" Which I probably did, to be honest. I had been
Yeah.
out since 11 a.m. But I told him that I think that all, which this is the part where I think I might have been rude. I said to him that all of the original songs that he did are better than the one that he released. And I was trying to say it in a nice way of like, I
Yeah.
like them because they were like catchy, like they didn't sound like 90s sitcom theme songs. Like they had something to them in a way that the one he released I don't think does. But I don't know how he took that necessarily. He said that he recognized my voice, and I said probably from TikTok, and I said probably from not saying the nicest things about you. And then he said,
I offer that information, Josh.
I like doing that. I like disarming it. Like if
Yeah.
I feel like if I say it, then they can't like get mad at me for it because I was upfront about it. That's been my new approach recently anyway. So I said that, and then he was like, well, I'm glad that you talk about the show or something. And he was like, what I do on the show is my job. And I was like, yeah, and me talking about the show is my job. So I
Oh
think
my God, stop it with this is my job. I hate that. No, don't be a professional reality. This is not your job. It's a thing that you're lucky to get to do,
that's
that you're
true.
known for.
I didn't think of it like that, but that is true. But it was a pleasant interaction. Like I said, he kept asking,
He was
like,
nice.
how are you? Yeah, he was nice. He was in like a white tank top. He derobed. I don't know the proper word. He took clothes off for the meet and greet. He was trying to be cute and flirty, I guess. I will say not many people paid for the meet and greet. I was impressed with like how many people went to the show. And then it was like, if you were doing the VIP, you just like stayed in the room and everybody else left. And I was expecting like a good amount of people would leave, but all of a sudden like everyone is leaving. And it was like me, my friend, and then maybe like 10 people. And we were like, oh, this is... But I mean,
did his height alarm you? Because he's a tall one.
And I guess I have it on my phone. This won't be helpful for the audio listeners, but there's this picture of us where I look so teeny next to him. Like he is very tall.
I saw that. Or I saw the one you posted.
Yeah, he's tall. And he honestly handsome in real life.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's obviously not his problem. He is a handsome guy. So, by the way, this is good, though. Are you going to BravoCon?
Yes, I am going to BravoCon.
Perfect. I am going as well. And what I would imagine is that this is a warm-up because I bet Jesse Solomon will be singing in a couple of different capacities at BravoCon. Don't you think?
So. Yes, definitely. And I will, like I said, the unreleased original songs that he did, I think people will not be as mean to. And I had a conversation about this, and somebody was asking, like, do you think he released the worst one on purpose as like engagement bait? And I was like, maybe.
Well, because that's the one where he was doing the awkward TikToks about like almost like a threesome, like couples. Yeah. I mean, there is that, but I also think that he is a little cheesy. So I don't know, like, I mean, it is interesting that we have that conversation now more than ever is something rage bait, because that does tend to get passed around a lot more than things that we love, which is sad, but whatever works. But I don't know if he's really that thought out. I mean, I would almost be impressed if he was that thought out.
Me too. And I also just want to say I will give him credit with the non-original songs that he did. He could have picked easier songs. Like he didn't need to sing Feeling Good. He sang Take Me to Church. He sang My Way because he wanted to do a Frank Sinatra moment. Like he could have picked easier songs. And also I'm sure he knew that people would be recording it and like people were going to probably be hostile in the comments because they have been in his comment section the whole time he's been trying to do music. So I will give him credit. I don't mean to sound like I'm like a Jesse Solomon stan. Like I'm of course not. I will be talking so poorly about him as soon as Summerhouse starts, I'm sure. But I think it's on some level, and some would say maybe it's delusion and that he doesn't realize that these are vocally challenging songs that are maybe a little bit out of his range. But like, I think I respect that he like took the shot at those songs, and none of them were like catastrophically bad. Like the audience was into all of it. So
no, I mean, the small clip I heard, I did. I mean, I will, if I get the chance to see him sing at BravoCon, I will do that for multiple reasons. Just because I'll be, like there is part of me that wants to goof on it, but part of me is like, yeah, I want to have that experience. I want to see, and Yeah, I totally give him credit for doing this. Was there a visible nervousness on stage by him at all?
Um, Not in the way that I expected.
Yeah, not in the clip I saw. It just seemed like very stilted movement and not like completely nervous, but just not knowing what to do with one's body when you're trying to read
Yeah,
these notes.
he definitely I think seemed more comfortable as it went, but I think that happens with
Yeah.
everybody in anything that they're doing. Now he doesn't seem too nervous to me.
Well, Josh, you deserve combat pay because you threw yourself in the muck. Now, before I let you go, I do need, first off, you had a huge day yesterday, and it turned out last night, Tuesday night is shaping up to be always now the best night of television because not only did we have Dancing with the Stars, we had a new episode of Salt Lake City. And so you had to watch both of those this morning, and you're going to be watching all of these videos. Now, me and my lady, we are new converts to Dancing with the Stars. And this is a show that I've goofed on for years. And now we are transported every week by the magic of Dancing with the Stars, like unironically.
It's so good.
But last night we had Jen Affleck leaving from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. What did you think of this call?
I expected it. I knew that the Andy fans weren't going to let him get out on his birthday.
By the way, I think I saw a video and I saw a lot of TikTok videos. People are upset about Andy Richter still being there, like upset.
Well, some people are, but clearly a lot of people aren't. And I mean, I will say, like, I was really kind of annoyed by it at the beginning of the season. As the season has gone on, I like get it a little bit more. Like, he is trying, and that I understand when people say, like, that's what the show is about. Like, it's not supposed to be people who are necessarily going to be amazing, but it does get to a point where the rest of the people there are really good. And I think if he's not the next one eliminated, I will be more bothered. Jen and Jan, I don't know. Yeah. They weren't doing that well.
Well, I feel like Jen, and this is just me putting something on her, is that I feel like she got in her head. And I feel like, I mean, the judges, just weren't as effusive as they are, obviously, for Whitney. And they're very different dancers, obviously. But you could tell, I felt like I don't know, Jen always reads to me as like an inner sadness. And so I felt bad for her. But also, I mean, the way which they let her go with like Whitney on stage with her, I wish they had split those girls up into different seasons because I just thought, what an ass kicking. And now Whitney will be there when Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 3 premieres. So I'm very curious to see what her storylines are and if she's a villain, if that affects voter turnout in any sense.
It does seem like a lot of people hold this stuff from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives against her on this show.
Josh, I totally do. But at the same time, I'm very quick to say, legitimately one of the best dancers on this show. Like, I mean, I get confused with the pros in her sometimes, but yeah, I'm not a fan. So I was already against her going into this. She did have a better second season of Mormon Wives, but I got to tell you, she's fantastic.
Yeah. And I will say, in defense of Jen Affleck, like, Whitney did get one of the best pros and Jen got somebody who is questionably qualified.
That's what we're starting to, like, Rebecca and I were starting to get into the lore of where we're starting to, like, we didn't realize that was a thing, too, of who they're paired up with and all of the behind-the-scenes drama. And Max talked shit about Jan on a podcast last week, which I was like, well, this is very reality show coded.
I have always wanted a behind-the-scenes Dancing with the Stars reality show. I think it would be literally one of the best shows on TV.
That's what we said on the show today. Wouldn't it be amazing? And then I was like, well, maybe they've done that at some point in all of the seasons, and we're just so new to this that we haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean, they seemed, and they're all dating each other. They're all hooking up with each other.
Yeah. Well, there used to be less of a need for it because I feel like 10 years ago when I would watch it, I fell off for a few years, but I did watch it like consistently, maybe like 2014 to 2020-ish. And then I fell off and then I came back last season. But they did used to like lean into the drama more on the actual show, partially because there used to be a separate results show and they had more time to do things
TikTok
like that.
clips of like intense dance rehearsals and stuff like that. And the judges arguing with the dancers.
Yes, there used to be a lot more like that. So it felt like there was less of a need for a separate show with all the drama, but now I think they should do it. I think the ratings would be literally through the roof. But
especially if you're going to go more social media influencer heavy. And I'll be the first to admit I don't follow Alex Earl. I obviously know who she is, but I kind of wrote her off as a get ready with me kind of girl. And she blows me away as well.
She's doing really well. But again, same with Whitney. She got one of the best pros. Val is amazing and always makes it really far, except when you had Phaedra last season. But It's
Well,
okay.
Phaedra still did make it halfway through the season,
She
right?
didn't do
Yeah.
horribly. Yeah, no, she
Yeah.
did. But he usually is in the finals or wins. Like he always does extremely well.
But also, like, if Andy Richter was paired up with Val, he's not going to go. You know, like, I mean, see, you have to be good. You know, you have to.
Yeah, no, of
Alexandra's really
course.
good.
Yes, but yes, no, that's true.
Who do
She
you
is
want to
doing
win this
really
whole thing?
well. I think Robert Irwin is going to win no matter what. I don't think there's really any choice that any of us have in the matter. I just think that the built-in story with Bindi, I watched the season that Bindi won. It's one of my favorite seasons, and I think that that's a season that like
The
really
sister, yeah.
stuck with that fan base. So I just like going into it, I was like, if he's good, he's gonna win. My favorite is Jordan and Ezra. I love them both,
Yeah,
but
Jordan
I
Giles is
also
truly, obviously amazing. I think there just needs, we don't have that reality show element with Jordan, where I almost feel like something, I don't know if her nose needs to break or if she needs to go to the hospital like Elaine Hendricks, but you need that little juice because she's technically brilliant, but we need some sort of, the Elaine Hendricks thing really juiced Elaine, like, even though she's amazing, it really gives you this story, like a beginning, middle, and end, and something to root for. It's coming back from like being injured. That is something that you really tune in for. So you think about these like stories like anything else. And so I want Jordan to have some sort of story, but I think she's such a pro that she's just a pro.
yes, but I mean, sometimes the story can just be like having a week like this where you were dropped a little bit on the leaderboard. It doesn't always need, but yes, they need some kind of arc. And
Yeah.
I think that's why we're seeing Whitney start to like this week she was talking about like being anxious about things. Like she's starting to try to like be less perfect all the time, I think,
Yeah.
because she knows that it's not an interesting story if you're just perfect all the way through.
Yeah, in her package, they got her to cry. Or, I mean, she cried in her package, so that's that warms people to her. Finally, snap judgment. Last night, Salt Lake City. You haven't sat on this a lot, but since this is a part of an episode today where we're going to recap the entire show. What are your snap thoughts about last night's episode, Below Deck Crossover?
I loved it. I mean, it was amazing television. I'm having a lot of conflicting feelings, and that's why I like sat down to make a video, and then I was like, no, I need to like let this sit in my brain
Yeah.
for a little longer because I honestly don't know how to feel about the Heather and Lisa thing. I am like, not. I was gonna say famously, not famously, but historically, not a Lisa Barlow fan. Like I almost, and I think you're the same. Like anytime she's in a conflict, I'm going to be siding with whoever is against her because she's so detached from
But I will
reality.
also say it's so entertaining to
Oh,
watch
of
it, though.
course, yes. Yeah, no, amazing television. She's incredible, but I never agree with anything that comes out of her mouth. But with this, I don't know. I kind of felt like Heather was going really hard at her in a way, and I think she might
I
have
think
been.
it was the drink.
Yes, I think
Drunk,
so too. But
Yeah.
she's like calling her like a moron and like using all these like very harsh words in a way that, yeah, I agree it was drinking, but it was also like, this was your best friend on the show 5 minutes ago. Like, where is this coming from? I didn't fully understand it, but I do also agree with the general sentiment of like Lisa probably, and I don't know if she's did the Bronwyn stuff, but she does come across to me. She's been in my DMs. I know she's very online. Like, she I know that she does engage in that kind of stuff. So I'm like,
Yes.
maybe there is truth to this. But Heather was just being very harsh, I guess, towards somebody who is a close personal friend, we're supposed to believe.
It's going to be interesting to watch Heather try to, back this up next week of like trying to be like, no, Lisa, you don't understand. Like,
Well, she was
I
even
love
trying
you.
to
I
do that.
totally love you.
Yeah, when she's like following her down, that was kind of creepy. I was like, Heather, stop following her.
Dude, and Brittany trying to flirt with the entire staff. Like, hey,
Oh my
Muscles.
God.
I was like,
love
oh my.
Brittany. Well, I
There are
don't
so
love
many
her.
little details of this show that are so amazing. And I love that Mary and Angie K were off in a room because Angie K was sick. Like, there's such varying, like, each
Perfect.
episode, it's just like a different song of a brilliant album where you're like, they're not locked into one form at this point. And I find that really impressive where it's like they're giving this group a longer leash than they do with, say, an OC. And it really is paying off because when these women fight, they fight so, like even Meredith, who's not really having a huge season, when she jumps in at a certain point, you're like, good. It's like a basketball team where you're bringing in somebody in the fourth quarter. It's like, great, just throw her in for a couple of lines, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I love Meredith, so I was happy to see her get activated this episode because it's, yeah, she's had a very low key season, but I was glad to see, and I'm glad, and I will say thank you, Brittany, for getting her to get in the mix again.
Yeah, all she had to do was say what was the word that upset Meredith? A stroke or a
Seizure.
seizure?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I know what Brittany meant, but I love that Meredith. It was personalized because she did have a very a family person that had seizures, so that like really shook her up, and it was like that's not exactly what she was saying. You turn into the Incredible Hulk sometimes, but I even love that Brittany thinks some of this cast is crazy, and Brittany's one of the most batshit cast members there is.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, and I have to decide if I'm going to Brittany's cabaret show. I don't know
Oh,
yet, but
Josh, you're going.
I
You're
think
going.
so.
You gotta go. Are you kidding me?
Honestly, I was kind of waiting to see how the Jesse Solomon thing went because I was like, if that was the worst night of my life, then I probably won't be that inclined to go to like another Bravo Celebrity singing performance. But I kind of loved the Jesse Solomon thing.
What
So
date is Britney's thing?
I think it's December 5th. And then I think they added a second night because she, I guess, was selling tickets.
You know what? Let me talk to Rebecca. I'm gonna go. Which date are you going? Are you going the first night or the second night?
I have not decided.
Okay. Well, maybe. Yeah, God, this sounds like a once in a lifetime opportunity because who knows if she'll, keep doing these. But, okay, Josh. I feel like you're moments away from some sort of podcast, but you really already have a podcast because all of your social media, you take us through every moment in pop culture and reality TV. So if you don't follow this man, follow this man. Truly one of my favorites always. And hopefully he never gets too big where he will refuse to come on this show. So we will take him where we can get him. But Josh, I can't wait to see you at BravoCon too, man.
Yes, so excited for BravoCon, and I will always come back.
Okay, well, that holds up in court, so we're going to take that as gospel. Okay, bye, dude.
Bye.
Was that